Hey, Justin, you want to watch a movie?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
What do you think about,
No, I saw it last week.
Oh, what about,
Not again.
Oh. How about this?
Wait. You want me to watch what?
So what did you think of Fistful of Dollars?
I feel like I've seen this before, but I feel like it was in black and white and Japanese.
Well, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. So welcome to You Want Me to Watch What, a podcast where Justin and I, who've seen many movies individually, decided we're going to start watching them together. And what's more fun than introducing somebody to a movie they hadn't seen, or in this case, a movie he's most definitely seen as part of this podcast, but now with guns instead of swords.
Yay.
And in color. Well. And filmed in Spain, but looking like the American South.
And Clint Eastwood.
And very Clint Eastwoody.
Yes.
And also the source of Marty McFly's, Back to the Future 3 shtick.
Yeah. Where he took the name Clint Eastwood.
Mm-hmm. See, everything's a circle. Great big circles.
And I bet given a few more minutes, we could connect it all to Kevin Bacon.
I don't think it would be hard, really.
I don't think so either.
I mean, because anyway, we would have the trump card, right? There's always like the Joker's Wild kind of thing of and Back to the Future 3 was filmed and released in the 90s, and Kevin Bacon in the 90s was.
And he was alive in the 90s, so clearly.
He was doing things in the 90s. So, in this case, we're watching A Fistful of Dollars, or Fistful of Dollars if you pay attention to just the movie opening credits, or The Fistful of Dollars if you are reading the Tubi, credits. And it is an unauthorized remake of the Japanese, of the Toho, Akira Kurosawa film Yojimbo.
Yep.
And as such, if you want to know more details of the plot, you are welcome to go listen to that episode. Mm-hmm. And it will be very much the same. Because it is very much a case of an unnamed stranger arrives in the little town and is accosted by a few punks. And by punks, I mean people who are very clearly in their 40s. Mm-hmm. And
people who ought to know better.
People who ought to know better. And the town's innkeeper says, hey, there's a feud going on between these two families. You got the Rojos on one side and you got the Baxters on the other. And to make money, the stranger decides he's going to just play both sides of it. And so he starts off by getting a job with the Rojos by killing those 4 men who insulted him as he entered the town. By telling them that they ought to apologize to his mule for making fun of him. And when they draw on him, he kills 4 of them.
Because the mule's sensitive.
The mule's, he doesn't like it when people start laughing because they think he's laughing at him.
Yeah.
It is a really great intro to that character, I think.
It is.
Because and this is 5 minutes in, but almost 10 minutes into the runtime because the first 5 minutes is all credits.
Yeah.
And really great music, which I love Ennio Morricone. I love his music. I still think Ecstasy for Gold from Good, Bad, and the Ugly might be one of the best running around in a giant cemetery songs that has ever existed. But in this case, everything is all serious and landscapey and Renaissance painting kind of thing, with super, super close-ups with the hat drawn down and the cigar in the mouth and all this stuff. And then you have just this weird jokey kind of intro, whereas the stranger walks forward. He goes past the casket maker. He's like, make up 3 caskets. Kills the 4 guys, then on his way back says, my mistake, 4 caskets.
Yeah.
This sets up his reputation, for lack of a better term. And he spends the next a bunch of time basically figuring out how can I better pit these 2 families against each other so that they're going to kill each other. And I'm going to walk away with the money, either by selling information for things that I'm doing. So the Rojos massacre a bunch of Mexican soldiers who are escorting gold. Well, he takes 2 of those bodies and props them in a cemetery to make them look alive, and then goes to the other side and says, hey, 2 of them survived. You'll be able to nail the Rojos to the wall. But everybody's now going to the cemetery so that he can check out and look for gold in the Rojos place.
Mm-hmm.
But not before getting paid $500 for the information. So he ends up, while searching for the gold, knocking out a woman because she comes into the room and he reacts and knocks her out. She, quote, belongs, end quote.
Yes.
To the Rojos.
Big air quotes.
Great big air quotes. He brings her to the Baxters. Well, the Rojos had kidnapped the Baxters' son, so they arranged for a swap, but not before he gets more money, kind of thing. Ultimately, and during the swap, he realizes that the woman has basically been kidnapped. She doesn't belong. She has been kidnapped because the husband won at cards, and the Rojos, accused of cheating, took the wife / mother of the most annoying voice in the movie, as basically the prize. The stranger helps them escape. It is the only morally unambiguous act he takes in the entirety of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing he does that you look at and go, huh, that's actually for somebody else.
Yep.
And it turns out it really is, because he's witnessed, letting them go, which means that he is now captured, beaten up. Eventually he escapes, recovers, not before watching the Baxters effectively be completely and utterly massacred by the Rojos. But he escapes town and he recuperates and finds out that his innkeeper buddy's been captured and is being tortured for his whereabouts. So he returns with the steel chest plate hidden beneath his poncho. Marty McFly.
Yep.
Taunts the chief gunman of the Rojos, Ramon. Aim for the heart, Ramon. Aim for the heart, because that's been kind of the chorus.
Yeah.
Ramon's favorite target is a suit of armor, and the entire chest has been shot out. And he talks about, if you want to kill a man, you got to hit him in the heart. I think. When they're both out, the stranger says, all right, let's race. You load yours, I'll load mine. And wins, because it's that kind of movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ramon's killed. The coffin maker has a whole lot more bodies, to bury, but no one to sell the coffins to. So, stranger eventually leaves, and credits roll. And then Sergio Leone owes Akira Kurosawa like 15% of the gross plus $100,000. Kurosawa actually made more money from this film than he did Yojimbo.
Didn't Kurosawa have a quote about this movie?
He said, it's a very fine movie, but it's my movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. You have made a very fine movie. Mine.
Very polite about it all. So that's, you know.
Yeah. So, what'd you think? Knowing that you've seen it as Yojimbo.
Yeah.
But this is a very different style of film.
It is. It really is. It is not a traditional remake. And I like that sort of thing. I like when they kind of twist an existing idea on its head a little bit. When I was younger and more foolish, I would not have liked it because I was very much a purist, not for Kurosawa's films, but for something I enjoyed in general. Like if somebody remade or covered a Beatles song, my initial reaction would be, no, that's not going to be any good because it's not the original. As I've gotten older and mellowed out and come to appreciate more things in life, I can look at a remake or whatever, and even if it's a shot-for-shot identical, like okay, you did something that's good, but I really enjoy the things that twisted on its ear a little bit, and so I can absolutely appreciate this for what it is. And I enjoyed it. And Clint Eastwood chewed the scene, not in a overly excessive hammy kind of way, but I mean you could tell when he was on screen, he was the presence. And I enjoyed the joking kind of intro was a little jarring compared to the rest of the film. But it wasn't unpleasant. You know, the whole apologize to the mule and 3 coffins, sorry for. But then the rest of the time, he doesn't make any jokes.
Not really. Anything after that is very darkly comic.
Yeah.
When he's making little snide remarks to various people.
Yeah.
You know, what I really appreciate about this is Sergio Leone had a very meticulous way of framing the camera, framing his shots.
I did enjoy
this.
I did enjoy some of those shots. Absolutely.
And I think that you could take 80% of this movie and pause it and you would have a painting.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even just talking about the close-ups of the actors, you know, before a quick draw or before a fight or whatnot. There's one at the very end, toward the very end, right before the big gunfight, where Clint Eastwood's character, you know, Joe, he's walking up and you know that there's going to be a gunfight. And rather than framing the faces, Leone focuses on the boots.
I was just thinking about that shot. That's what I was going to talk about. Yeah.
And it's like they take a step and then turns his foot so that you see this black boot with the silver spur.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then switch over and you've got the brown boots of Eastwood's character.
Yeah.
You know, kind of coming through the little puffs of dirt. And it's just this really fascinating way of conveying the tension in the story by forcing you to wait on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In D&D, Matt Mercer and Brennan Lee Mulligan talked about this in about one of Kurosawa's films where The Rain, maybe it was Seven Samurai, where you've got to have the rain where everything stops and you wait for a while before the big climactic thing, because if you don't, then it's just movement, and you don't ever have time to breathe. You don't ever get to digest that this matters. This is about to be an important moment.
Yeah.
And you watch, and it's like, who's it important for? Because there's never a population in this little town. It's either this family or that family. You know, this family's henchman or that family's henchman. But it's like you go into the tavern's always empty.
Yeah.
You know, there's no house of ill repute. There's no church service that happens. It is only the principal actors and movers in this. And so at the very end, it's a town that's made up entirely of an innkeeper and a coffin maker.
Yeah, so I mean, I could count in one hand people not related to either of those families. You got the innkeeper, the coffin maker, the bell ringer.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
Yeah, and then the woman and her husband and kid.
Yeah.
They're tangled up in it, but they're not a part of either side.
That's basically how they're connected, is that they've been tangled up in it.
Yeah, but they don't serve allegiance to one side or the other. They're just there. So it's like you've got this small group of people surrounded by menace on both sides.
Mm-hmm. This is one of those movies that, I mean, the whole thing was made in Italian.
Yeah.
You know, with the exception of Clint Eastwood, who didn't learn Italian for it and didn't do the thing. And so his voice was actually dubbed over by a different actor for the European release. Mm-hmm. Enrico Maria Salerno did that, who had a much more sinister voice. And if you find some YouTube clips of it, because it's very clear, like, oh, they wanted this guy to be way more dangerous sounding in this version, as opposed to this confident kind of cocky, voice. But I wish I could remember the name of it. But there's a certain time of filming where everything that was done was really done without any sound effects. Like, they did all the video, but there was no audio recording at the time.
Oh, okay.
So all of it was overdubbed afterwards, which is why you get that weird kind of uncanny valley of the sound when they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
Because, like, what is going on? Why do all these things just sound so funky? But MOS, that's it. It was shot MOS, which is when you do the segments with no synchronous audio track. So it's video only. What that does, though, is it meant that none of the actors really had a great big expression to their face as they were talking. Mm-hmm. You know, they were saying their lines. They were doing the thing. But as you watch them, it's like, wow, that guy's really into it, but his voice doesn't match.
Yeah.
Or, wow, that guy's really emoting for such a very mundane line. Huh. Weird. But in terms of...
They're all in customer service mode.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of Westerns that I really enjoy. It took me a long time to get into Westerns as a genre. Mm-hmm. Because they were always on when I was a kid, but it was always Rawhide, Wagon Train. You know, it was always TV Westerns.
Yeah, and that's a whole different kettle of tea right there.
Mm-hmm. And so the first time I saw this one, this is the second Western I saw.
What was the first one?
The first one being Blazing Saddles. So, I mean, that should give you a hint, because I didn't see Blazing Saddles until I was in my late teens.
Yeah.
So I was about 20 or so before I, saw this and realized that, wow, Westerns are not necessarily white hat, black hat.
Exactly.
Stuff. Now, I've come to appreciate those. But not... But it took me a while to get to it. So
yeah, they play a role. But if I had to choose between 2 hours of Gunsmoke or, A Fistful of Dollars or something like that, I would choose a Western movie.
Yeah. So this is one of those that I think it should be seen. Just like
agree.
Yojimbo.
I agree.
And quite honestly, there are a few. There have been way more than there should have been makes of this. So just to throw this out there, because I've seen Yojimbo. You've seen Yojimbo.
Yes.
And we have both seen now A Fistful of Dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I have also seen The Warrior and the Sorceress.
Okay.
Which is a 1984 David Carradine sword and sorcery, version of this movie.
Okay.
The 1999 Jean-Claude Van Damme take on it, Inferno.
Okay.
And the Bruce Willis 1996 Prohibition era film, like set in Prohibition, Last Man Standing.
I've not seen those last three.
Yeah, I don't recommend you watch. No, that's not true. We may end up watching Last Man Standing in another 10 or 20 episodes.
Okay.
Because I'll forget that we've seen this. It's like, oh, have you seen the Bruce Willis film Last Man Standing?
Nope.
It's pretty good. So where are you sitting?
Oh yeah, it's a see it. Absolutely. Both
Cool.
both this and Yojimbo are important culturally, even though for different reasons, even though they're effectively the same movie.
Yeah. And I think that if you want to dip your toe into the spaghetti western genre and the morally ambiguous, leading man, I don't think there is a better start than Fistful of Dollars. Because even Yojimbo, you get the sense that he is a very noble character, even though he is, kind of playing the sides as well.
Yeah.
And
he in
there's
Yojimbo,
not...
and if I'm wrong, correct me, but I feel like in Yojimbo, he was playing the sides against each other for a reason. It was more to kind of free the town.
Yeah.
Whereas this was, I could make some money off this.
Very much so. This one is very much a case of, hey, have you ever wanted to see a guy do the right thing once, and then the rest of it is just about money or vengeance? That's this.
All right.
So see it from me, see it from you. It's your turn next.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think I got something.
Cool.